want to keep wearing my glasses, but this ring light, what should I do? But I keep seeing it. I keep seeing the light being reflected on my glasses. It's so distracting. Oh, I wanted to be a fashionista though, right? This is all part of the outfit. The reason why I'm wearing this thing, it's because look at these colors, babe. Look at these colors. But this ring light, it's ruining my life. Anyway, hello my daisies. Hi, how you doing? How are you doing? So today we are reacting. So for those who have been on my channel know that I love friendships. If you're new here, know that I love friendships. I am all about friendships. Okay, I love friendships. I am all about friendships. I've been hurt the most by friendships. I've been loved the most. I've been hurt the most by friendships. I've had wonderful friendships. I've had questionable friendships. So I love friendships, right? And if you have been on TikTok, go relax. And if you have been on TikTok, you have probably seen videos which usually start like this. Story time about how my best friend didn't like me. You know, you have seen those type of videos. Story time about how a friend of mine hated me and she did 1, 2, and 2, but that's how I was able to find out. So I've seen those type of videos, right? But then a few weeks ago, I see this video where this girl is like, I'm the friend who didn't like my friend. She's like, I'm the person who didn't like my friend. And I feel like, you know, usually people like me are misunderstood. So let me share my story. I was like, I'm interested. I want to listen. I want to hear your story. What is it? So that is the video that we are watching today. We are reacting to. So I never really finished the video. I watched a few, I think like the first minute, and I never really actually finished it. I wanted us to come and watch it together. So let's get into it. Oh, I don't want to take off my glasses, but the ring light. So yeah, I've decided I'm just gonna look that way and pretend like this ring light doesn't exist. So let's watch this video.
I always feel like I hear stories about someone coming on TikTok and saying how their friend never liked them, but we never get the other side of the story. I was the friend that didn't like my friend. And I really had to come to terms with the fact that I did not like her and I had to break up with her.
So for her, we already know like the big picture. We already know the big picture that she had to break up with her because she didn't like her as a person. She no longer liked her as a person. And I think that makes sense, you know. At some point you would be around someone because you have known them for so long, but then at some point you realize that I do not like your personality, I do not like the way you treat people, I do not like the way you behave. And I think that's a valid reason to say, especially if that person has no plans of changing or making an effort to show that they will change and become a better person, that she's like, this is just who they have decided to be. I think it's a valid reason to break up with that person, you know?
So we were friends for about 2 years, and at first I was giving her all the chances that I could give her. I was trying to help coach her through some things in life and just let her see the brighter side of life.
See how she said at first she was giving her the benefit of the doubt? And I think usually what I've seen is that we do that a lot, and that means we end up staying longer in a relationship that we should have exited sooner. Yeah, I do believe that people can change. I do believe that if you give people a chance, or maybe if we talk about it, people, those who want to change will change. But I just wanted to mention that point, that I've realized that, if you end up giving somebody 20 chances, now you are going to stay in this relationship longer than you should have, and you end up, you may even end up getting hurt for staying longer than you should have. You end up getting hurt, or maybe even hurting other people, because you have stayed in a situation that you should have exited sooner. So
She was a very negative person who had a very negative outlook on herself. And being the fact that I've been through so much, I felt like I had a lot to offer.
oh, see that. You try to be a superhero and change everybody. And what I've noticed is that if a person like this is not ready to change, is not ready to work on themselves, no matter what you say, no matter how much you coach them and hype them up, they'll never change. Like I am a former only child, right? I used to be an only child, not anymore. I have a, how old is she? 8 year old sister, so something like that, right? So I used to be an only child, and when I got to school, I met people who had siblings, and these people were always, a lot of them, not always, a lot of them would always have self-esteem issues, which would stem from being compared to their siblings, right? You would hear, you would see a very beautiful person just always so negative regarding their appearance and all of that. And when you just like try to find out where this is coming from, because this is a drop dead gorgeous person, you would find out that it's because they have been constantly compared to their sibling. So I met somebody like that. I remember I tried really hard to try to show her that baby girl is leave this thing of you always being compared to your sister. It has blinded you to see how awesome you are. And I spent 2 years with this person, and only to find out that whatever that I was doing, whatever that I said, I think it worked. I thought it was working, but I found out later that now they had stopped. Now they started comparing themselves to me now, when I thought I was helping. Looks like I was just adding fuel to the fire. So you can't save everybody.
Ultimately, we had different values and morals, but I looked past all of that because I felt like she was latching on to me.
We had different values and morals. I understand when we are younger. I think that is something that we didn't really pay attention to. It didn't really matter that much. As long as they were not like extreme when it comes to a lot of things, as long as your differences were not extreme, I think we would always just work it out, right? But right now, for me at this age, I cannot handle a friendship where our values and morals are just at the opposite of are different. I can't do it. Like I don't think I can handle it. I'm at a point where I just I'm not saying I want to be surrounded by people who are only similar to me, but values, I think values are the foundation of a lot of things. Values are the foundation of relationships. It doesn't matter if it's romantic or platonic. So if we don't value the same things, I'm too lazy for that kind of relationship these days. If I was younger, I would have been fine, but at this age, I cannot.
There were a lot of great times. I'm not going to sit here and say there weren't, but also a lot of lows. There was a lot of times that a lot of things that she did would irritate my soul. And I just felt like I didn't like her anymore. After the realization of I don't like you, I started to feel bad because we had mutual friends who used to tell me to give her a lot of grace. People were making me feel like I was rude, I was mean, I was insensitive, and that I was just ready to cut her off. And when you have a friend, you don't just cut them off.
Ooh. And I think this is a very complicated situation where you want to walk away, and people are like, why are you being so hard on her? You're judging her. Why are you just trying to throw someone away? And it's at some point it feels like everyone is gaslighting you. People are not seeing your side of the story. People are not understanding and seeing your point of view. That this is very exhausting for me. So I want to distance myself, and people start to look at you sideways. And people start to look at you sideways, and it's like you become the bad guy. But like I said, I feel like when you start to feel like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore, I think it's time. It's time to go. It's time to go, because someone is gonna end up getting hurt in the process if you are staying in this relationship that you no longer want to be in. You know what? And also this, I have been the friend who tried to reconcile people who clashed and they were trying to break up and stuff. I tried to reconcile them. So I understand that point of view, and I also understand her point of view, because I've been the friend who was trying to reconcile people who are like, I didn't like you anymore, I don't want to be with you anymore. So I've seen both sides. So it's like, it's a sticky situation, because honestly I believe that anything, when we have been friends for years, I believe that we can solve any problem that we have. So that is not an issue for me. I believe that we can solve any problem that we have. But I think I'm starting to understand that, you know what? When somebody says it's time, I want to leave, maybe let them go. I have come to accept and learn that it's okay. When someone is saying, let me go, I don't want this anymore, I don't want this relationship, I don't have any right to force them to try to work things out, because I believe that as long as you just talk to each other, everything could be okay. La 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 la, sha la 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 la.
So that being said, I actually stayed friends with her for longer than I probably would have. There were a lot of times that she would just call me and I would literally be so irritated. It would grind my gears when I would see her name come across my phone.
Ooh, baby, if it reaches this point where you see that person and the name pops up on your phone and you are irritated, oh, I'm sorry, baby, go, baby. The door is, I will personally open the door for you. Go. That is sad. I never want to be in this position, because I am someone who, when I don't like something, I just don't like it. I don't feel the need to engage with it. I don't have the motivation to engage with that person, with that thing. So I could never reach this point. I would walk away sooner, because I am too lazy when it comes to, things that I have no interest in, people who I have no interest in, people that I just, there's no love there. Like, I just have no feelings towards, One thing I've noticed is that I'm driven by love and care. The only reason I would do things that I normally wouldn't do would be because I love you. Like, I would not randomly just go to a party. I would not do that. But if it's your party and we are friends and I love you, I will go to your party. But on a normal day, would I do it for a stranger? Would I do it for a person who I do not care for? Never. I would never. So I need motivation, and motivation for me is always love. If there's no love, baby, I'm not gonna do it.
Feeling like I'm rude, I'm mean, and I'm everything that everybody said that I am. And I continued a friendship that I had no business being in. I even found at times when people would say negative things about her, I defended her. I went to bat for her. I still tried to show up even though I was cringing being friends with her. I was literally compromising my own self to be a friend to this girl. And oftentimes she would say that I was a grumpy person, but I was only grumpy because of her. Because ultimately, I did not like her. She was the type of friend that would never compliment another woman. Like, a woman could be drop dead gorgeous and she would never say, oh my God, you're so pretty. She was one of those girls that I would be scrolling through IG and I'm like, oh my God, this outfit is so cute. This girl looks so bomb. She'll be like, send it to me. I'll send it to her and she'll be like, oh, I don't like her shoes. She was the type of friend that if she had an issue with a boyfriend or an ex-boyfriend, she would be like, I'll talk to his best friend. She had no girlfriends at all. I was literally her only friend. So it got super exhausting, and I started to realize that the reason why she had no girlfriends was because she was a grimy person. I have some sort of complex that makes me feel like I have to help everybody, even if it means that I'm not happy while doing so. So ultimately, the straw that broke the camel's back was she got into an argument with a mutual friend of mine, and she said something super, super grimy about her. And when I say super, super grimy, I mean violation grimy. And that's how I ultimately broke up with her. So when she found out that I told our mutual friend what she said, she had the nerve to call me and say that I was fucking weird. So all I'm coming to tell y'all is do not feel bad to cut people off because they deserve it. If you have some sort of bad feeling towards that person, just cut them off. Don't let anybody coerce you into believing that you should be friends with somebody when you feel in your heart of hearts that they don't deserve your friendship.
Ooh. Ooh, so this is like the reason why people don't like you is because you are not a very pleasant person. Good. Good. End of the story, end of the video. Bye. I have said it before, so, sometimes you are the problem. It is what it is. You know, people are leaving you, people are breaking up with you, people are cutting you off because you are the problem. And if you have no plans of working on yourself and people see that this person has no intention of changing, they will leave. And if it starts to become a pattern, I said it at the beginning of the video that don't be out here trying to save everyone. She was trying to save her. I think I've said a lot, at this age for me, oof, I am really like I'm really into values. If our values do not match, I would have no energy, I would have no motivation, I would have no interest in pursuing a relationship and pursuing a close friendship. Our values should match, but when it comes to other things, we don't have to be twins. I'm not saying I want us to be twinsies. No, I'm just saying values are the core and the foundation of a relationship. So we have to value the same things, and then we can be different in other areas. We don't have to agree when it comes to a lot of things. We can still disagree to agree when it comes to a lot of things, but I'm not compromising on my values. And also, one thing that I've learned is that if you are staying in a relationship that you should have exited sooner, it's not doing anything for anybody. You are not doing anyone any favors. It's only going to hurt both of you. It's only going to hurt the parties involved, and it's going to end up messy when you could have just had a clean cut. Now it's going to end up being messy. And you know what? At some point, we have all been the problem in a lot of our relationships. And, as a person, you have to change, you have to grow, you have to outgrow some things, you have to unlearn a lot of things. So sometimes you are the problem. You are the reason why people are breaking up with you. You know? Sometimes people don't like you because of your behavior, because, and that behavior ends up making you unpleasant. Oh, that word. And it's not because, they don't like you because they were jealous of you. They wanted to be you. It's just like, it's your character. Your character is the problem. So we have always seen videos where people talk about that. Hey, my friend didn't like me, she was jealous of me, she wanted money, she wanted my life. But sometimes it's just that. And I do wonder how the other person is sharing this story. What is that side of the story? What is the other person saying? She's saying she's messy, she went and you know. Ah, but anyway, so thank you very much for watching. So what do you think of the video? So what do you think of this? What do you think of this topic? What do you think of this point of view, you know? Have you ever been in a situation like this before, where you had to break up with someone, where you had to dump a friend because you did not like them? You know, along the way you just stopped liking them because of their character. Have you been that person? And how was the story narrated by the other person? You know, what was their point of view? You'd probably hear it around that, you know, she's saying da 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 da, you know. What was their point of view after you broke up with them, after you dumped them because you didn't like them anymore? But anyway, thank you very much for hanging out with me. See you next time. Bye.